Hello, everyone. I guess this is gonna be part 2.1 of our little tutorial series when it comes to building a triple A game in Bevy. And I was thinking about a little bit about the tutorial series, and I kind of think that I'm gonna make the REPO public. Uh, Maybe until I'm finished with it. I don't know. Maybe like the Psycho Duo REPO, which is basically the REPO we're going to build everything. Maybe I'm gonna make it public. You guys can copy the code that I'm going to use it because it's just so much code, and I think maybe today, no, it's copyable. If it isn't, it's because I probably backed out of my decision, and I'm a little sorry about that. But you guys don't get to choose. So, anyways, let's do this. Let's do. So, let me just do the little magic of scene transitions. Feel like looking if I did it again. Ah, I got it wrong. Okay, wait. In transition, go. Oh yeah, we got it right, man. Let's go. Anyways, so first of all, okay, don't be scared. Okay, this is probably gonna be on the repo itself. So, um, as I said in the video before, I explained everything before this guy. So I basically explained this guy, explained this guy, explained git ignore, and now I'm gonna explain this three folders here, which are correlated to networking, which is already really scary, and you're probably scary shitless. Also, don't forget of this Bevy dependencies here. Okay, it's really important that you guys follow along with the same dependencies and the same versions, because if you don't, everything's gonna break. Except this one. This one you guys can ignore for this video, but like the other ones, please follow along and don't forget that. I think I'm just gonna zoom little bit so you guys can see it way more clear. Okay, so let's go. So the first thing we're going to do is that you're going to create three subcrates, right? Three folders, one called client, another called server, and another called shared. As you can see, because of the way I do symbols of my extension, it actually distinguishes one from another, which is really good when you're heavy coding. But not exactly needed, okay? But just something that you guys should probably take in consideration. So let's move to client. Oh my god, so much code. I'm so scared. Oh my god, everything's gonna break. Calm down, my friend. Everything's gonna be alright. So let me just put my headset here because this is kind of annoying. And let's start with the basics, okay? So you might be thinking, what the hell is even that? Like what the hell is even that, right? But okay, let me just explain to you guys how it works. I don't have paint. Do I have paint? I don't have paint. I don't think I have paint. I have Stardew Valley, which is the same thing, I think. What is this? I don't know what the hell is this. Maybe this guy can do. Yeah, maybe this guy can do. Uh, oh, I can't draw any of this. Oh my god, don't I have paint? Come on, man. Maybe LibreOffice has some type of paint. No, it doesn't. Oh god. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, I don't have paint. Anyways, so probably in the next videos you're probably gonna see a little bit of paint because I'm gonna put some effort into it. So, anyways, whatsoever. Uh, let's do this code, right? Remind me. This code is gonna be on GitHub. The repository is now going to be public. There's probably going to be a link to it, and you guys can follow along. So any of it, don't need to copy right now. Just try to follow my logic. Okay, guys. Please follow my logic. Listen to my words. Don't listen to the words of the universe. Listen to me, man. Fuckers, pay attention. Okay? So, how does this work? It's really common when it comes to networking that you create three subcrates. You know what? I'm just gonna do a little bit of like let me just see if I can do like Linux Paint. Is there a Linux Paint? So there's an app install. Yeah. Well, this is a tutorial on how to install color paint. Thank God we don't show that thing. Yeah. Thank you. While we install this, I'm gonna try to explain to you guys how we do this. So basically, we have three subdivisions when it comes to networking. Okay. And the first subdivision, specifically in Lightyear, is divided like that. But in most games, I think people do tend to follow that tradition of dividing into three subfolders. Okay, and those three subfolders are going to be client, a folder solely specialized into client configurations. The second one is going to be server, which is a folder super specialized when it comes to server configurations. So things that are unique to server, that's really important you guys know. Things that are unique to server, the things that are unique to client are going to be those two guys, okay? And then there is shared, which is something that is not really unique between both of them. You know, it's something that they both share, and that's why they call it shared. I know this seems like a confusing at first, and trust me, building logic here can be a little bit confusing because you go between server, client, and you need to do the whole register message, send message, blah blah blah, and it gets a little bit like, and you need to replicate. But we're not going to enter into that detail now. We're just going to focus on the sole basis of configuration itself. Okay, okay. Do I have color paint yet? I do. So basically, that's what it is. We have three kind of entities. Okay, look at this. We are becoming good at this, man. We are exceptional, man. Anyways, so first, I think that's how you do it. So reminded me, you have three subdivisions: server, and then you have client, and then you have shared, which is going to be shared. Okay, and here's the thing. Usually you can have multiple clients, but in Lightyear, since he's server authoritative, you can also have multiple servers, okay? Usually the way it goes is server communicates and tells clients what to do. And also server is the one who's going to transition the information from this client to this guy. Okay? Really important that you guys understand that. I don't know how to open a new one. Yeah, thank you. I guess that's some way of doing that because this became horrendous really quickly. And that's pretty much it, right? There is not much detail to it, like that's pretty much all you need to know by now. That each folder has a location and a responsibility, okay? That's why we divided into three folders into our little game, okay? Second of all, let's start with shared. And you guys probably wondering why shared and not clients and stuff like that. Usually when you do coding, when you do like coding, base coding, you are going to start by shared, by client. Like for example, you want to build a logic, you want to build a system, a new type of logic. You usually just build it in client, and then you try to think how you're going to dialogue that system with server and with other clients. Because remember, the server is the one responsible for everything. He's the big boss. He's gonna be the one who's gonna tell you exactly what is client, what is not, what is not. That he's going to be the guy. And right now, we're going to try to figure out shared, which is a very, not very big, tiny, it's not a very big folder, but it's really important that we understand each field here, okay? And I'm going to explain them very succinctly from what I know. As you can see, there's a lot of commentation. I'm not going to say the comments itself. I'm just going to say it again. So the first shared configuration that you need to take into consideration is server replication send interval. You can go to share config, like you can go to the definition of it, and you're gonna see here what it means, each one of those, right? But this guy basically tells you how much the server is gonna replicate information from other clients to your client. Why do you sometimes want to mess around with this guy, right? And he's like a duration field, which means he's gonna have a lasting time, but that only means like how from how often he does send messages. And when he's zero, it usually means he's going to send all the time as at the like as the best as he can, And you're probably wondering why the hell would I care about that? Like, why the fuck would I care about that? This guy be really important for one single reason. This guy would be really important for one single reason. If you don't do it, like you sometimes when you deploy it, your game, if this guy is too high, you're gonna have issues because your server is going to go klabooey because you are putting too much effort into it. You gotta think that when we are done here, our server is going to be this little guy here. You see, this is a Raspberry Pi, man. This shit doesn't do stuff. This shit doesn't do nothing. This it's a tiny guy has a 4 GB RAM. It's terrible. It's not good, man. It's not good. We don't have money. We are broke. We're not AWS. We're not shit. We're broke as shit, man. And you gotta understand this, because this guy, if it's too big, you're going to have issues. And also, it's really important that you try to limit it, because that way you can spare expenses when it comes to deploying your AAA game, also known as your multiplayer game. Now we were done with server application sending interval. We're going for tick. And tick is tick. Tick is going to be ticking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is nothing difficult in understanding what a tick is. It's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's going to tick how often, right? And that's exactly what tick duration does. He's going to tell you how often a tick ticks, tick ticks, that's how I do it. Yeah, yeah, and that's how I do it. Okay, he's gonna be like the way we defined and how much we're going to send and what's exactly like our message. So, for example, usually when a client, I'm going to server here. When client sends a message to server, he sends something called a packet, and he keeps sending that over and over and then over again. The tick is gonna be the guy who's gonna tell you, the tick is gonna be the guy who's gonna tell you exactly how often he's gonna send that information, and how often the server is going to send the reply to client itself. There's a few issues here because that communication usually takes time. It usually takes a little bit of time, but you have not to worry about that, because that's not today's discussion. There is ways of fixing it, and that causes a lot of issues when it comes to multiplayer games, but that's a matter for another problem. So you just need to understand what stick. Okay, ticks is that. It's the amount of messages we send between client and server, or better said, packets. What's mode? Mode is something that's very unique. It's basically this. As you can see, we have multiple modes. We have host server mode, we have server client mode, we have multiple modes. When you have host server mode, it means that like usually you have like a client that is at the same time server itself. So basically you can host a client like a game. That's usually very common in games like such as Risk of Rain, where you have like four characters and one of the guys is hosting for the other ones. Other games like Age of Mythology also tend to follow the same server host kind of thing, like client host kind of approach. This is not our approach. We are a competitive game, so we don't do that. We have a server and we have a goddamn client. Usually that makes things more simple. Okay, guys, it's really important. That usually makes things a little bit more simple. It's really important that you guys understand that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, look, he connected to client. He gets crazy. Don't worry about the spam here. That's really common. So that's basically it. That's shared config. And I'm going to end this video here because it's really important that you guys understand that. Okay? Sayonara. Oh my god, I forgot to change the thing. No.